Hi, everyone, and welcome to the 2024 NAMI New Hampshire Annual Conference, Cultivating Hope, Celebrating Everyday Heroes. Thank you for joining us. If you're new to NAMI New Hampshire, we are so glad you're here. If you're a longtime member of the NAMI New Hampshire family, thank you for coming back. NAMI New Hampshire is a grassroots organization that provides support, education, and advocacy to individuals and their families impacted by mental illness and suicide in the Granite State. We do this by offering a variety of programs and events, including today's conference. I'm Michelle Watson. I'll be one of your co-hosts today, along with Karen Prevey. Today's presentations are in Zoom webinar. There will not be an option to turn on your camera or your microphone. We welcome questions in the Q&A, and we'll do our best to get to all of them. We have also turned off the chat feature because sometimes it gets distracting, at least for me it does. For those of you who are joining us this morning, it's 11:30, so almost afternoon, you will be automatically entered into a drawing to win 2 free tickets to This Is My Brave on May 15th, and the winner will be notified later this week. We'd like to express our thanks to our sponsors who have helped make today's conference available free of charge. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, now I'd like to introduce Kristen Welch, who's going to go ahead and get this session started. There you go, Kristen.
Thanks, Michelle. So great to have you all joining us today. For those of you who have been at the conference before, you know this is a tradition. We kick off this is sort of the start to our official NAMI Walks New Hampshire season with an information session, which will be led by our wonderful walk manager, Brittany Porter. But I'm really excited to have a few minutes this morning to talk to you about an event that is new to NAMI New Hampshire that we're bringing this spring. And I wanted to share a little bit about that with you. So on May 15th, we will be bringing a production of This Is My Brave to New Hampshire. This event will be held at the Capitol Center for the Arts, BNH Stage. And if you're not familiar with This Is My Brave is a storytelling event where a cast of community members and brave performers, just like you and me, they're not trained actors. They are people who are willing to share their stories of lived experience of living with mental illness, substance use disorder, or being affected by suicide with the community. And that the intent behind that is to raise awareness, inspire hope, and show people that they're not alone. So we're really thrilled to be bringing this production back to New Hampshire. I hope that you'll join us. You know, we have our goal is really to support our amazing cast in sharing their stories. And, you know, when you see the show, you'll know that they're incredible stories of hope and empowerment and honesty. And we're really honored to have the opportunity to share those with all of you. So to participate in This Is My Brave, there's a number of ways you can get involved. You can buy tickets to the show. Tickets are $20 a piece. Brittany just put the link to the website in the chat. There's a link to buy tickets right there. Your ticket also gets you access to a pre-show reception. That reception will start at 6 p.m. and it will have some light hors d'oeuvres and some non-alcoholic beverages. So please join us for that. There will be resource tables from our amazing sponsors. And we're really thrilled to be able to offer that. So as I said, visit the website, naminh.org/TIMB for This Is My Brave. You can buy your tickets there. If you'd like to make a donation to support the show, you can do that there. There are sponsorship opportunities listed on that page. And there's also information if you wanted to take out an ad. That's a wonderful way to honor our brave cast of storytellers. And so, you know, this is, of course, for us, much like NAMI Walks New Hampshire, which Brittany will go into in a minute, but this is an awareness raising event, but it's also a fundraising event. So we're hopeful that the community will support it by attending and by helping us raise some funds that will stay right here in New Hampshire and help us provide free support, education, and advocacy to over 40,000 Granite Staters a year. So thank you. And now it's my pleasure to turn it over to our wonderful walk manager and development coordinator, Brittany Porter.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kristen. I am just going to share my screen really quickly. Can I get a thumbs up if people can see my presentation? Chad, I'm looking at you. Thank you. Excellent. So thank you all so much for coming today. Whether of you attended 21 walks, are entirely new to the event, and everyone in between, thank you. Again, I am Brittany Porter. I am the development coordinator at NAMI New Hampshire and our walk manager. So what is NAMI Walks New Hampshire? NAMI Walks New Hampshire is the state's largest mental health awareness and suicide prevention event. Every fall, thousands of Granite Staters lace up their sneakers and walk together through the city of Concord to stomp out the stigma and unite under the rallying call, Mental Health for All. NAMI Walks New Hampshire is free, family-friendly, and fun. So why do we walk? We walk to promote awareness of mental health and reduce the stigma, to raise funds for NAMI New Hampshire's free support, education, and advocacy programs, and to build community and let people know they are not alone. And while this is NAMI New Hampshire's biggest fundraiser, truly we are all about the awareness, and we are so happy to hold this awareness raising event. Just to do a quick 2023 recap, last year we had over 1,300 participants, we had 132 teams, and for the third consecutive year, we raised $200,000. And here's a picture of some of our cutest volunteers from last year manning the Unicorn Station. Just a reminder, all of the funds raised from NAMI Walks New Hampshire stay right here in the state of New Hampshire and help NAMI New Hampshire continue its support, education, and advocacy efforts. So let's talk a little bit about this year, 2024. The theme for this year is I Am NAMI Walks, which I think is just so appropriate, because as much as I love the fun parts of the walk, like the entertainment and the snacks and the unicorn, NAMI Walks New Hampshire is such an amazing and impactful event because of the people, and not only our participants who are incredible, but also our incredible sponsors and all the people who support this event in various ways. And I'm going to get to talk about one of those amazing individuals in just a few minutes. So this year's event will be on October 6th, 2024 at the soccer fields on South Fruit Street in Concord. Registration will open at 9 a.m. with the walk kicking off at 10:30. And registration is open right now at namiwalksnh.org. So the walk is a 5K with a shorter route available. Anyone who either doesn't want to walk or has limited mobility is more than welcome to stay at the field. I promise I will be there. There will be chairs, so however you want to participate, that is fantastic. We welcome friendly dogs, and there will be treats and bowls of water along the walk. We will have refreshments, games, and entertainment, and the always popular pet costume contest and Day of Hope auction are returning virtually. So here are some of the ways you can get involved. You can register as a team captain, a team member, an individual participant, or as a virtual participant. We have a tutorial on how to register that Kristen is going to put in the chat, and that will get a little bit more in depth about what these various roles mean. And we also have a tutorial on how to best use your fundraising page. We have sponsorship opportunities ranging from $250 to $1,500. And we have our incredible walk committee who helps us plan NAMI Walks New Hampshire, who meets on the third Wednesday of the month from 5:30 to 6:30 on Zoom. And every year we do need day of volunteers who help us set up the event, break down the event, hand out snacks, handle parking. We have so many opportunities, so stay tuned on that. And so now I'm going to stop talking for a little bit, and I'm going to do a Q&A with Chad Meyer. He is the team captain of Hunter's Hannaford Heroes. Last year, he spearheaded the Hannaford Super Team, and this was both of our first experiences with the Super Team, and he was so patient and gracious with me, which was amazing. And if you had a snack at last year's walk and you attended, that was most likely a snack provided by Hannaford, an effort that Chad also spearheaded. So Chad, thank you so much for being here and talking a little bit about your experience.
Awesome. Thanks for having me today, Brittany.
Thank you. So tell me a little bit about your family's story.
So approximately 2 years ago, my son Hunter, who you can see in the slideshow picture, experienced a mental health crisis. And so we was kind of at night, so we ended up bringing him to an emergency room. And he was admitted. I thought that by him getting admitted, he would get a room upstairs. And unfortunately, he sat in the ER in a glassed windowed room with a chaperone for 4 days. And then finally, we got him a room in a different section of the hotel or of the hospital. And he was there for an additional 6 days. And although the hospital was very helpful, part of the conditions of him coming out of the hospital and coming home was finding some counseling and some support. So I, at the time, this was in the middle of COVID, and trying to find some counseling was difficult at best. I think I talked to over 20 or 25 different potential therapists and finally found one. But in that process, I was given a pamphlet that was just said NAMI New Hampshire on it. Didn't think anything of it at the time because my goal was on my son's well-being and getting him home and taken care of. I got home, read that pamphlet, and like most of us, I said, "Oh, I'm going to go on Facebook," and I looked at the Facebook page and liked the Facebook page. So when I started getting daily updates around how many people, both children and adults, were sitting in ERs, similar to my son, and I realized that I felt like I needed to do something. I saw the ad for NAMI Walks, and I signed our family up 2 years ago, and the 4 of us went for the first time. And it's something that I feel like was a great decision, not only for something that I now feel very passionate about, but now in hindsight, looking back at it, that first year brought my son and my daughter and my wife, their stepmom, to the walk, and just realized how impactful that was, and realized how good mentally that was for the 4 of us to experience together.
That's fantastic. Can you speak a little bit more about your experience? I believe that would be at the 2022 walk.
Yeah, so we went, had no expectations, raised a little bit of money and got there, and we started selecting our beads for different colors of how you have been affected by mental illness in your family. And we went through that process, and it started raising some questions with my daughter, saying, "Oh, I didn't know you knew somebody." So it started a conversation. We went on the walk, and we listened to some of the stories on stage, and then I actually just saw my son, you could almost see him like take a big old sigh and almost relief, and you could see him smile, and it was really cool to see because it had been a long 6 months. And then I brought my daughter into the tent where there was some artwork from some local New Hampshire students who've also experienced mental health and illnesses, and that really hit home to my daughter, and it turned a light bulb onto her and said, "All right, I get it now." It shook her for a few minutes, but it really hit home to her, and it turned that light bulb on.
That's fantastic. And so last year in 2023, you and I worked together to create a super team. And for folks who don't know what a super team is, picture it like an umbrella. There's one big team with a bunch of smaller teams under it. So Chad is a manager at Hannaford Claremont and kind of rallied his whole Hannaford family to pull this together. And together we created this super team. Could you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yeah, so after that first year, I kind of came back and told the story to my director of operations, and she said to me, you know, next year let's get involved and let's you know, get Hannaford behind this, and we tabled it for 6 months, you know, and then we started talking about organizing and realized that, you know, I have 15 stores in the district that I work in, and we really wanted to rally each of those stores individually as teams to kind of compete against each other, because we can be a competitive group, and really wanted each other to see how much we were raising, to kind of really set the bar high. So that's when I reached out to you. You were a great partner and helped me kind of get through the weeds of the super team and getting my team captains from each store on board. So it really paid off, and it was a really fun experience.
I'm so glad to hear that. Could you speak to what the challenges were?
Yeah, I think our biggest learning, and something that now that I've had the experience of doing it for a year, you know, offline donations. We do a lot of kind of homegrown fundraising, and getting those donations into the system so that each team could see where they were at. Again, to be competitive and to see who could raise the bar the highest, was a process that some teams grasped very quickly and some of the team captains struggled with. So eventually we got there and feel like we have a much better grasp of that process, but it's certainly something that if you ever decide to do a super team and want to do some offline donations, it's something that that's what Brittany, you helped us out immensely to make sure that they were taken care of.
Thank you. I'll just give another plug for that fundraising tutorial again, just because there is, it's not 100% obvious where to put those offline donations, and that is mentioned in that video. So what were some of the best parts of your experience?
I think before we even got to Walk Day last year, just seeing the different team captains from each store really get passionate around something that I also had passion around was really, really cool. And to see some of the different ways they were fundraising or bringing it to life in their stores, to raise money and kind of think outside the box of how to raise that money was really neat to see. It was really inspiring to just want to raise more and keep on going. So it's something that we look forward to again this year. We've already started talking about it, and but then you get to Walk Day, and for me, you know, my district spans everywhere from Ringe up to North Conway, so it's a pretty stretched out district. So we don't necessarily get to see each other often face to face. So after having all that fundraising work and then getting to Walk Day, I ended up having 67 associates show up, which was amazing and overwhelming. I never thought we would have that response, especially for the first year. And they just, you know, we set a fundraising goal for our super team. I believe it was $10,000, and we ended up raising over 14 the first year. So it really, that creating a super team and that kind of competitive nature really paid off. So it was such a rewarding experience leading up to the walk, and then Walk Day is just to me a special event and something that I really look forward to. I just wish that I could slow the day down because it goes by too fast for me.
That day goes by in a blur. I can confirm. And you have the fantastic folks in the picture behind you, right? All the people who joined you on Walk Day. Yeah,
so we grabbed a couple of tents, and so they could all find where to get their t-shirts. I was, again, my director of operations for the district was super supportive, and she said, "You guys have done such an amazing job fundraising and really kind of rallying around this. She ended up getting T-shirts for the entire team. So everybody was very recognizable in their green and lime green and black Hannaford Hunters Heroes shirts. They were kind of everywhere at the walk. So that was really cool to see too.
That was awesome. So do you have any advice for folks who may be interested in joining NAMI Walks New Hampshire 2024?
Take the leap and do it. You won't regret it. It really is, whether you have experienced it yourself, you've experienced it in your family, or even if you haven't experienced it, just going and being amongst people who all have that same common goal and want to break that stigma and take care of each other. It's such a rewarding experience.
Thank you so much, Chad. And again, thank you so much for joining us today. I said earlier that my favorite part of NAMI Walks New Hampshire is the people I get to meet, and Chad is just one of these amazing people I get to work with every day. So thank you, Chad. And again, Chad's team was incredible. They raised over $14,000, and Hannaford continues to be a really terrific supporter of NAMI New Hampshire. So thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome.
So we have a couple of questions in the Q&A. So one is for you, Chad. Chad, are you going to add more Hannaford stores or teams this year? It was amazing to see this last year, and I personally spoke with several Hannaford team members.
Yeah, so my goal, so the 15 stores that I mentioned was for our district, kind of in Western and Northern New Hampshire. We're going to try to rally the troops and get the district that's in the Manchester area to see if they want to be a little competitive and have two super teams against each other. So that's currently the goal. So we look forward to seeing that come to fruition.
Awesome. We love a good friendly competition.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Chad. And this one I think is for you, Brittany. How can we host a walk remotely? Would we just do the walk on the day that NAMI Walks is hosted and raise donations?
Absolutely. That is a great question. So that would be considered a virtual walk, and you would register as a virtual participant, and you can absolutely do the walk anywhere, anytime. It doesn't even necessarily have to be on October 6th, although we love to have that happen in solidarity. And if you do, in fact, grab your friends or colleagues and do your own walk somewhere, please send us pictures or let us know that that's what you're doing, and we can send you some of our I Walk signs and some swag. And feel free to send me an email, and I'm happy to clarify anything about holding a virtual walk.
And I'm putting Brittany's email in the chat.
Yes. Thank you, Krista.
I don't see any other questions. I don't know if we still have a few minutes left. I don't know if folks have any other questions for Chad or for Brittany or for me about This Is My Brave.
Do you want to mention the booths that you have that will be
Oh.
open during lunch?
Yes, we will totally mention that. Thanks, Michelle. So we have a couple of booths. There's a This Is My Brave booth, and there is also a development booth. Those will be open during lunchtime. So definitely come check it out. You can also always send us a message at development@naminh.org. We really hope we'll see a lot of you on May 15th at This Is My Brave. And then of course, seeing all of you as well on the walk on October 6th. So lots of exciting awareness raising opportunities coming up, and we hope that you'll join us in them.
So do you have anything else, or do you want me to wrap up this session?
I think, I forgot to mention the walk is a rain or shine event, and that just keeps like pinging in my head. So I'm like, I'll just say that the walk is a rain or shine event.
We're going to have the same weather as last year. If you were at last year's walk, it was absolutely spectacular. So we are ordering the same weather. Everybody send good vibes for that. think we're probably good, Michelle. I don't see any other questions. I think we can probably wrap it up.
Okay. Okay, so thank you all for joining this session. And as I prompted Kristen to mention, we do have a virtual expo center, so please check it out. Besides the development booth, and this is my Brave, we also have the information and resource booth and a volunteer booth, as well as some other booths. So check them out and please visit our, our staff and our volunteers and our sponsors that are in these virtual rooms. It's really pretty cool. You will get an evaluation at the end of the conference, and it will include each session as well as the conference as a whole. So please, we appreciate your feedback. If you need a certificate, you'll be able to download one after completing the survey. This session, as well as all of our other sessions, have been recorded. They will be available in the lobby. You will be able to use this link at any point for the next year to get into the lobby and check out the recordings, or you can get to them on the NAMI New Hampshire YouTube channel. So up next, we have lunch from 12 to 1, where I'll mention and promote the virtual expo. And then at 1 o'clock, please join us for our afternoon keynote session with Dr. Christine Crawford, a conversation about youth mental health and the upcoming NAMI book for parents and caregivers. So thank you to Chad for joining us today. We really appreciated your perspective, and thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you at 1. Have a great afternoon.